Welcome back to CIA Declassified. Today we are not looking at a single operation, but at a master list from the 70s of the agency's darkest secrets. The year is 1973. The Watergate scandal is tearing the Nixon White House apart. The CIA is terrified that its own involvement in the break-in, via former officers like E. Howard Hunt, will lead investigators to kick open the doors of Langley. To get ahead of the inevitable investigations, the newly appointed Director of Central Intelligence, James Schlesinger, issued a directive on May 7, 1973. He ordered all senior officials to report immediately on any current or past agency matters that might be construed as, quote, outside the legislative charter of this agency, end quote. In other words, illegal. The response was overwhelming. It resulted in a 693-page loose-leaf book of memos, reports, and confessions. It was handed to Schlesinger and later to his successor, William Colby, who famously dubbed this collection the, quote, family jewels. Our primary evidence is the declassified release of this file, CIA-RDP75-00100670019-3. The context here is institutional survival. The agency compiled this list not to be transparent, but to know exactly where the bodies were buried so they could manage the fallout if Congress found out. The analysis focuses on the three most damaging categories revealed in the jewels: assassination protocols, domestic spying, and behavioral experimentation. Let's drill down into the specific operations detailed in the family jewels. When this document was finally declassified in 2007, it confirmed decades of conspiracy theories. For instance, assassination plots. The jewels confirmed that the CIA had actively plotted to assassinate foreign leaders during peacetime, a direct violation of executive orders. Who, you may be wondering? Well, Rafael Trujillo, I don't know how you say that last name, Trujillo, my apologies, can't pronounce it, Patrice Lumumba, and Fidel Castro. Fidel Castro, the files detail the recruitment of mafia figures to kill the Cuban leader. Methods discussed ranged from poisoned pills to exploding seashells. For Patrice, the dossier confirms the authorization to assassinate the Prime Minister of the Congo utilizing a lethal biological agent developed by the technical services staff. For old Raphael, the file details the provision of weapons to descendants in the Dominican Republic who eventually did assassinate him. Domestic surveillance operations like Operation Chaos and Mockingbird. The dossier explicitly lists the agency's illegal activities on U.S. soil, such as journalist surveillance. The CIA wiretapped and physically tracked reporters from the Washington Post and the New York Times, like Jack Anderson and Michael Gettler, to identify their sources within the government. This was a direct violation of the agency's charter. Mail opening. The jewels revealed that for 20 years the CIA had been intercepting and opening mail between the U.S. and the Soviet Union and China, processing over 215,000 letters in New York City alone. Human experimentation. The report touches on the fallout of Project MKUltra and Project Artichoke, specifically the issue of testing drugs on unwitting subjects and the subsequent cover-ups when those experiments went wrong, such as the Frank Olson case. The existence of the family jewels was known to a few insiders in the 70s. Investigative journalist Seymour Hersh broke the story in the New York Times in December 1974, triggering the Church Committee hearings we discussed in previous episodes. However, the actual documents, the 693 pages themselves, remained classified for another 33 years. Why the delay? The agency argued that releasing the files would compromise, quote, sources and methods, end quote. But looking at the timeline, it is clear the delay was political. The release in 2007 was a strategic move to clear the air of old news while the agency was under fire for new controversies regarding the War on Terror. Here's a quote from a memo within the jewels regarding the mafia plot to assassinate Fidel Castro. It was proposed that a gangster named Sam be approached. He was to be given pills that could be placed in Castro's food or drink. The pills were lethal. This is from document that I already listed, the CIA-RDP75. Quote number 2 from a memo regarding domestic Tracking, also found in that same document. Quote, the agency's involvement in the surveillance of dissident groups in the Washington area must be terminated immediately to avoid direct conflict with FBI jurisdiction and the agency's statutory limitations, end quote. This is the true meaning of the file. It is a confession of an agency operating as a rogue state within a state. The redactions. What's still hidden? Even in the 2007 release, significant portions of the family jewels remain redacted, over 25%, in fact, of the file. By analyzing the context of the black bars, we can hypothesize what is still considered too dangerous to reveal. 1. Foreign liaison complicity. Many redactions occur in sections detailing operations in Europe and South America. Hypothesis? These likely conceal the names of Allied intelligence services like M16 or the French DGSE that knowingly assisted the CIA in illegal acts such as the mail opening programs or assassination attempts. Revealing them would cause diplomatic crisis today. 2. The unsuccessful plots. While the Castro plots are details, other sections referencing executive action capabilities are scrubbed. Hypothesis. These may refer to assassination attempts that were never publicized or attempts that resulted in accidental deaths of foreign figures that are currently attributed to natural causes. Admitting to these could rewrite history books and invite international lawsuits. 3. Specific tech support. The names of American corporations that provided the logistical support for illegal surveillance, phone companies, logistics firms, are redacted. Hypothesis: protecting the private sector partners is crucial for maintaining current operational relationships. The Family Jewels document is a testament to the fact that without oversight, intelligence agencies will inevitably expand their mission until they violate the very laws they defend. It reminds us that the deep state isn't a theory, it was a file on William Colby's desk. Please like this episode and share it with anyone who values accountability. In our next episode, we fast forward to a landmark declassification event from 2013. We will analyze the document that finally ended the world's worst kept secret. We will dissect the Central Intelligence Agencies and Overhead Reconnaissance, the U-2 and Oxcart programs, document CIA-RDP25-001-A, released in 2013. This history of the U-2 spy plane contains the first ever official government acknowledgement of a specific location in Nevada, Area 51. We will examine the unredacted maps, the details of the experimental aircraft tested there, like the A-12 Oxcart, and the internal memos describing how the agency managed the UFO mythology to cover up secret aviation tests. Why did it take until 2013 to officially say the name, and what sections of the Groom Lake facility remain redacted even in this modern release? Tune in for our next episode of CIA Declassified, the official acknowledgement of Area 51. Until then, remember, maintain your vigilance, question your own memory, and keep your critical thinking sharp. I'll see you in the archives.